There are tons of tips out there on how to lower cortisol and stress with diet, supplements, breathwork. But often it's not enough. And the reason why you don't see the results you want is because you don't address what's causing that high cortisol in the first place. So in this video, I will break down for you one of the biggest and less obvious source of that high cortisol that I see a lot amongst busy women, and share with you 3 simple habits that will help you move from that high cortisol fight or flight state into green zone, because that's where your body regenerates, burn excess body fat, your hormones return to balance, and also that's where you can feel more calm and connected again. So the biggest source of chronically elevated cortisol that Google or ChatGPT most likely will not tell you is imbalance between things you have to do and things you actually want to do. And even more important, how you emotionally approach those have tos. So if your entire week is packed just with obligation and there is no time for joy, rest, creativity, or connection, your brain will start seeing life as a one long thread. And that will keep your cortisol high, even if you technically don't feel stressed. And I know you're thinking now, if I'm busy, what I'm supposed to do or how that will make any difference. And 10 years ago, I had exactly the same thought. But it's not always about doing less, reducing your task list, or quitting your job. It's really about reducing the perceived threat your nervous system is under. Let me give you my own example. Back in my corporate days, I had to stay late at work quite often, waiting for data to send end-of-day reports. And even though I knew I had to be there, I still kept fighting it in my head. I was frustrated, angry, and constantly thinking, this isn't fair, that sucks, and I just really hated that. And for some reason, I thought the more angry I will be, the quicker I will receive the data to finish the report, but guess what? It didn't happen. And what happened instead? I was just flooding my body with cortisol, and that, of course, had its consequences on my health later. And I love to use here this emotional vibration scale by psychiatrist David Hopkins to show you how our thoughts and emotional states influences our physical body. To make things simple, negative emotional states like guilt, anger, worry, especially when chronic, they can increase your cortisol output a lot, while acceptance and more positive emotions are linked with better well-being overall, including hormonal balance. And this isn't just some spiritual theory. Here you can see research showing how thoughts and emotions can impact our physical body. And here are also my results with cortisol output from that time, almost off the chart. I didn't have any major past traumas, just really the way I was living and emotion I didn't know how to regulate were setting basically my body on fire and constantly releasing that cortisol. If I only knew it that time, I'm sure it would save me from burnout and that constant cortisol release, which later led me also to underactive thyroid, belly fat, acne flare-ups, and bloating, all the classic high cortisol symptoms. Interestingly, I was eating pretty healthy that time. I'm still am, but also no matter what supplements I've been taking, I tested pretty much every possible supplement available on the market to lower that cortisol, and nothing really worked long term until I started to work on how I go about my day. And those 3 simple habits that I will show you now, they helped me a lot. And this is actually when my body finally started to respond and I was able to lose my excess body fat, my skin started to clear up, and overall I just feel like more calmer and peaceful no matter of how stressful the day was. Those 3 small changes shifted my nervous system back to safety while still being busy and productive, so 100% possible. So the first habit is audit your day. Here, you want to take a piece of paper or even make a note on your phone. In one column, write down all the things you have to do in a day and be very specific. Don't just write down go to work because at work maybe there are some tasks you have to do and you really don't want them to do. And maybe there are some tasks that you have to do, but you actually enjoy them. And that will go into want to a column. Anyway, then in the second column, write down all the things that you enjoy doing and you're looking forward to doing, or simply things that make you feel good. Then when you see that the have to is significantly longer than want to, you really need to rebalance it, or at least change how you approach that, which I will explain in a second. Anyway, if you cannot remove anything from the have to, focus on the want to column, and here it can be really something small like having favorite tea before bed, or reading a few pages of a book you like, or watching something inspiring, or something that makes you feel fulfilled. So you don't really need that much more time, because it's not really about the activity. It's more about feeling like your life has space for you, and also doing those small things that help you fulfill the needs that have been neglected, and pretty much neglected needs activate that fight or flight response. So to start with, you can do that audit of your day pretty much every day, but after a while you can do that just weekly. It will kind of like you will develop that sense of, am I doing enough for myself versus doing things for like others. Then the second habit, emotional checking. So you want to use the same list that you just created, and now I want you to put a cross next to the task in the have to column when you feel negative about the task, or you feel negative while doing that. And once you identify them, think about how I can approach differently, or how I can change those unhelpful thoughts that generates those negative emotions and increase cortisol to more helpful thoughts that generate more positive and neutral emotions and doesn't spike my cortisol much. Then the next time you do that have to task, you really want to practice what you learn, because our brain works on repetition. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And here is where the power of the pause comes in place. All you need to do is just pause for a second and think about how the old version of me would react to this situation, and then how the new version of me will react to the same situation. Shifting from that frustration or any other negative emotion to neutrality and acceptance calm your nervous systems and lower cortisol faster than you think. And here, of course, it's not about suppressing negative emotions, but it's more about experiencing them, accepting them, and focusing on thoughts that elevate you, not the thoughts that drag you down. And then the last habit, check with yourself how much of your daily decisions are aligned with your needs, boundaries, and values. Your nervous system can be overactivated and release that cortisol if you do too many things that are simply not aligned with you, who you are, your values. Maybe your boundaries are compromised, or if one of your core needs as a human is compromised. And here, when you see on the chart, safety, for example, is not only about physical safety, but also emotional safety. And with love and connection, the same. It's not only about family, friends, or romantic relationships. It's also here about relationship with yourself, how you view yourself and how you feel about yourself each day. So at the end of the day, or on your way back from home, take 3 minutes and ask yourself, where today did I say yes to something that didn't align with me, or where today did I ignore what I truly needed? And again, it's all about those small things like saying yes to work task you didn't have capacity for. And I get it here. Sometimes we have to, but here you want to look at the big picture. Is that something I tend to do often, or was it more like one-off thing? And also ignoring that gut feeling that said rest or take things easy to you, but you kept powering through, pushing through, or even engaging in a conversation that drained you because you felt obliged to. And I know what I'm sharing here with you, it may seem like, what's the point of that? But honestly, this is where awareness starts, and awareness changes pretty much everything. Because those small daily decisions, when repeated, either tell your nervous system, I've got you, or you don't matter at all. And also that's why I put so much emphasis on how we approach life, things, and tasks, not only what we do, because that has huge impact on that cortisol release. And that's quite often is that missing piece. Nutrition and supplements, of course, are important, but even think about that way. You only eat 3 times a day, take your supplements maybe once, twice a day, but your thoughts, how you feel, it's 24 hours. Anyway, if you want to learn more how to stress less and turn off those stress alarms in your nervous system, watch this video next.